into this one, and Na going to be taken off the board first, and Rek'Sai, she's not going to see any more play. We've seen Rek'Sai being on this ban list quite often.
Yeah, and I think Gamtee need to be careful here, because if they do ban out junglers again, maybe even if they hit the Lee Sin here, I'm very curious to see what Danger will be able to play, because we know that Amazing J, now that Na's off the board, he'll first pick Jarvan every single day of the week if it's available.
That being said, they can only first pick away one champion, of course. So GT this time around are going to have the option of at least the Lee Sin or the Jarvan if neither of those champions get banned. So we'll see what Energy Pacemaker decide to do, whether they put it on them. They're banning the Rumble this time, so not going to take any off the board themselves, and we'll see whether GT force them to make that decision. Yeah,
so GT, I think they need to steer away from banning out that Jarvan or the Lee Sin, just because it will back Danger once again onto an uncomfortable champion. I like the Xerath that came out of Xiaohu. Wouldn't be surprised if that came through early again. Nice and safe. Did get ganked a lot early, but managed to impact those team fights relatively well in the late game.
Gamtee could look at a Sivir ban here. Has been very effective so far, but Lissandra, she was about to escape the ban list, and she's going to get put on the bench as well.
So once again, Amazing J has the option of first picking that Jarvan. We'll be able to take it into the top lane if he wants. Drizzle also plays it in the jungle, so I do think it is a very versatile flex pick. Wouldn't be surprised if that goes through. Or the Lee Sin. We mentioned how well Drizzle played it last time round. I think for me, those are the two pickaways at this point.
And you have to think that Amazing J probably wants to lock away this Jarvan, because if there is an uncomfortable matchup there in the top lane, I mean, he can just chuck it over to Drizzle and he can pick that one up. So they are going to hover it at this stage, and locked away. An understandable pickup here from Energy Pacemaker.
Yeah, and I think Gamtee now have to take away Lee Sin. If they put Danger once again on that Rengar, after that performance, I think it just plays into the hands of what Energy Pacemaker want to do early game. So I'm expecting a lot more early game focus to come out. For me, something like a... Actually, maybe Thresh and Lee Sin here, just to set up a little bit more of an early game composition.
Yeah, and Shu was making a lot of those early game plays, roaming around that map and really solidifying their lead that they had early on. And I like this one as well, putting a super tank in the hands of Let Me as well, now that Na is off the table. Danger's going to lock in that Lee Sin, and it's going to be Maokai here in the top lane.
Yeah, so Maokai making a return to the top lane. Definitely a solid laner, as well as a pretty good tank. And once again, Raphael just hovering that Cassiopeia.
He likes it. He wants to show us that, yes, I would like to play it at some point, but we won't trust him as of yet. But already sort of the late game focus coming through from GT yet again, wanting to have that super tank in the front line in that Maokai, but having a little bit more early pressure is definitely going to help them out here. Is Raphael going to take away the Azir, who has escaped the ban list?
Yeah, but this once again allows Xiaohu to play that Xerath.
Yeah.
Doesn't really lose lane out to Azir very badly, and has a lot of long-range poke, and Emperor's Divide really doesn't do much. Sivir, however, is an interesting pickup. We mentioned that Sivir does extremely well against the Corki matchup. Able to shove the lane out, goes extremely even, and then just use the ultimate to great effect. And that's something that we didn't see, like Gamtee could do last game, was get a favorable engage. But going back to that Tristana, that's a risky pickup.
Yeah, it's sort of Gamtee
once again,
putting themselves in the same position.
That's very late game coming out of Gamtee once again.
And Raphael now on this Azir is going to have a lot more late game potential, especially in the DPS department. Those Sand Soldiers really start doing a lot of work, especially when you've got 3 out on the board. And they're
throwing
looking...
an Aurelia in there as well. This is just... I think that, once again, Energy's Pacemaker have got a fantastic read on what Gamtee want to take to the game, and have picked and banned pretty well according to that.
Yeah, and Shu looking to take away the Nami from Sync Dream as well, so... wanting that Corki Nami bottom lane, having that a little bit of extra sustain. But Gamtee, they could be in a lot of trouble, and I think it's all on Danger to have the opposite performance from last game, and to maybe even be the Drizzle this time and put on so much pressure.
Yeah, definitely needs to. However, Jarvan matches early game pressure with Lee Sin extremely well. Even outperforms him level 1 to 5 just because he brings CC to ganks, and Lee Sin doesn't. The Annie pickup is an interesting pickup. That doesn't really have any... No one really has anything to get Annie in range.
Yeah.
And she's going to be walking into an Azir as well as a Corki, who have just so much upfront burst damage that unless she really has her flash available, until she gets those distortion boots, we'll struggle to find the favorable flash tippers.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit scary. It's almost like they're picking this Annie just for that laning phase to try and really help Tail out, getting through this 2v2 situation against the Nami Corki that are going to have that sustain. They're going to have the ability to put the pressure on. But isn't Annie going to be enough here in the bottom side of the map? Because I know what you mean. It doesn't really fit.
Yeah, that's a really questionable pick for me. I think they're picking it for the team fight and not the laning phase because doesn't bring sustain, has a lot of burst, but after about level 4, Tristana just wants to kind of farm that one out, not looking to get hyper aggressive.
Yeah, and Annie always wanting to fight, wanting to get that stun in there, making things happen there in the bottom side of the map. Exciting to watch, but it doesn't necessarily work out in the team comp that Gamtee are really trying to go for here. But they may have a plan, and we'll see whether they can execute it.
Yeah, so once again, going for a late game scaling team, that's a danger from Gamtee, and I think that Energy Pacemaker this time have also picked a lot more late game. However, their power curve throughout this is just, I think, better in every regards.
Yeah, sorry, just having a look over at the spectator as some dancing sand soldiers. It's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Energy Pacemaker are going to use this comp for as well. I mean, we're looking, sort of scrutinizing Gamtee quite a lot, but you have to think that EP, they have something they'd like to do. But let's get into the game, ladies and gentlemen. And we are on the Rift with Energy Pacemaker taking on Gamtee for Game 2 here. Energy Pacemaker with a decisive first game victory, now on the blue side. And grouping up a little bit more effectively here, maybe in for an early invade.
Yeah, so stacking as a unit, only sending Azir there. Danger has spotted it out. As long as he doesn't get hit by a stray bubble, we'll be absolutely fine as he whiffs that Sonic Wave.
You got to be frightened of those stray bubbles coming at you. As Letme going to get some deep warding down, then going to head back to base. You can see we've got EP potentially scouting out a lane swap here.
Yeah, so maybe worried that they're looking to freeze with the Tristana and roam with the Annie, who is, of course, devastating with that early stun. So I like the deep wards coming through, trying to scout out a lane swap. We'll possibly be looking for that 2v2 lane.
Some interesting pathing going on here. Energy Pacemaker almost catching Letme out, but not going to be happening as the sapling going to hop over that wall and just see what's going on.
And when you react to a lane swap like this, you need to be careful that A, you don't give away your positioning too early because it means that you can just get matched extremely easily. But B, that you don't arrive to the lane that late that you can't affect a freeze because then you're forced to hard shove with someone like a Tristana who just doesn't do it as well as a Corki.
And it looks like Gamtee are potentially setting up a late invade here on that blue buff side. We do have Drizzle actually heading over to his red buff as Energy Pacemaker looking to try and get something. There's the two-man stun to come through. Shoes so incredibly low. The ebb and flow. There's the flash coming through from Tail. It's a nice three-man phosphorus bomb, but first blood to the AD carry.
Yeah, and that's a response to it. If a team burns all their wards in your jungle, they have absolutely no vision of their own jungle. We'll put them a little bit behind in the jungle pathing, but Danger going to be able to pick this one up no problem, and first blood onto Tail this time around, looking to get that Tristana going even earlier.
Yeah, and Sync Dream just helping him out there, taking that blue, easily going to be able to pick that one up. Drizzle going to do some vertical jungling here, heading straight to the enemy blue buff just so that he doesn't get 3-buffed here early on in this game. But you have to think that things going already fantastically for Gamtee.
Yeah, and it looks like we will have standard lanes, just Australian style, a little bit upside down.
Yeah, a little bit down under laning going on here. It's been happening fairly often here in the LPL. But we'll see how this Annie-Tristana combination stand up to effectively just a stronger lane in Nami and Corki.
Yeah, and definitely are a stronger lane in a 2v2 sense because of that sustain that comes through. But if Danger's able to get up there early, now that there is a kill in there, as Drizzle looking for a first gank. Yeah,
Letme in a bit of trouble here. Does have the flash. He's going to flash over the flag and drag after effectively dodging it, but not wanting to give himself up for second blood, or at least the first kill for Energy Pacemaker, is Tail pushing this lane in.
I like the roam coming out of Sync Dream right now, trying to get behind the Azir and really follow up on Xiaohu, trying to swap the tables from what was happening last game.
Yeah, he's got the stun available as well. The stun lands from Xiaohu as well. They're layering this CC, and Raphael in a lot of trouble. Has to blow both summoner spells in order to get out of that one, and What a beautiful roam coming through from Sync Dream. This is what the Annie is for.
Yeah, that certainly was why they were trying to scout out the lane swap. However, even though Energy Pacemaker found it, still not able to swap the early roam. Tristana was able to shove in, get a free buy, now heading into the bottom lane, and they're looking to get Sync Dream involved around the map.
Yeah, and Tail going for the massive investment banker build. Already has that Avarice Blade under his belt. Just going to try and build up as much money as possible. We'll have to try and keep track of that item with how much money he's going to make from it, because getting that so early really does help you out.
Yeah, it certainly does. And Corki looks like he's starting to hard shove the top lane, maybe even looking to get the lane swap back through, because we can see that already Shu is on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, Danger and Sync Dream again. They're pairing up. We think we may potentially see a dive, but Sync Dream, you need to get some levels, buddy. I mean, you got the Q and the W, yeah, that's going to help you out building your stun and then managing to get someone down, but you may not be able to be that level the entire game.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this has put so many members on the bottom side of the map that without a flash, will be dove here.
He's still very high on health, though. They're going to have to commit a lot to trying to pick this one up. We'll see whether they can juggle the turret aggro. He's going down so low so quickly, but Drizzle's going to fall down. Let Me goes 1 for 1, and this is disastrous. Shu almost dies from that.
Yeah, nearly 2 for 1. He doesn't have his teleport available, so that will be a lot of damage to the turret, but even able to trade in that situation is fantastic for Gamtee.
Yeah, Let Me really kiting around that turret to his best ability. As Sync Dream now going to finally come in and maybe get some experience.
Yeah,
it's going to work out.
I think looking back on that, Let Me would have preferred to queue towards Zanami trying to pick up that kill, because I think that already Drizzle would have fallen in that. Gamtee rotating into an early Dragon, however, looking to pick up an early objective leave at 5 minutes. Look at the damage Dragon does. If they're scouted doing this, they're in a lot of trouble. Yeah,
they did notice the fact that there were 2 members there in the top lane coming around to try and capitalize on that one. 4 members now on this Dragon. It is going to go down as the vision is afforded by Amazing J. No, actually by Drizzle. Used to seeing Amazing J on that Jarvan, of course, but they do manage to get the timer to Energy Pacemaker, but this is one of the first games that I've seen where they haven't had a plan for taking that Dragon early on.
Yeah, so first Dragon going over to Gamtee. They've got a couple of kills. Only danger here is that Aurelia is CSing much more nicely than Let Me. Poor guy's had a lot of jungle pressure so far and has started to fall slightly behind.
Yeah, but we see Corki leaning against him now. Just the 1v1. So Let Me able to sort of get a little bit back here. Now has his teleport back available as well, so can potentially affect this map as Drizzle going to clear out this pink ward in the bottom side. Tail going to have to play a little bit more defensively as Xiaohu back on the Xerath, looking pretty comfortable, but taking a bit of harass from these soldiers.
Yeah, so Xiaohu is winning in CS as Sync Dream only level 3 at 7 minutes into the game. Wow, that guy needs to start eating some creeps.
Yep, please. My goodness. Cute little Annie. Not really working out, but
looking for another gank before the summoner spells are back up. They've pinged it out.
Yeah, Danger trying to come in. There's the layering of stuns. The teleport to come through here from Amazing J, but he may get caught out here as Sync Dream trying to get that stun back up, but doesn't quite manage to.
Yeah, fantastic understanding of when the summoner spells would be available. Bit of action in the bottom lane. Tail uses that buster shot to get to safety.
Yep, didn't even need to use his rocket jump there, so he was going to be fine, just waiting until that Aqua Prison was committed to before he used that ability and just wanders out, but using the ultimate, so still a decent cooldown.
Yeah, and this time around, Gamtee really trying to push the pace. Now that they got the kill, invading on the blue, they of course had that cool, timer because of taking the first one. Definitely gives it to you.
Yep, that is what's going to go on. Amazing J is hanging around here, does have Transcendent Blades available, not going to be able to use that to steal the blue buff. We do have Drizzle waiting in the wings, but not going to be able to fight 4 people here as Let Me swings around as well.
Yeah, Tail needs to be careful. Still 2 members on his side of the map.
And Tail is doing fantastically here in a 1v2 situation in the bottom side. Only, what, 7 CS behind? He's not worried about that at all.
Yeah, certainly is not. As we see Xiaohu having a much better game this time around. He's been getting a little bit more jungle pressure from his team. Sync Dream's looked very comfortable in this Annie. Some very good early roams coming through. Now has picked up those Moby boots as well. So bypassing a Sightstone completely, going for some control through some ganks.
Yeah, see whether you can be a ward yourself. Of course, Annie not spending too much time in lane, just hanging out in brushes, being a ward. And look, we said that Annie didn't really fit this team comp all that well, so be a ward. Always going to fit any team comp.
And I like the way that they have used the Annie to try and get some early pressure down in what is once again a late game scaling team comp. We thought that a lot of that would have to go over to Danger, but Sync Dream really has stepped it up and started providing that some support. And we said the one negative was that Let Me was starting to get shoved out of lane and lose some CS. He's caught straight back up. So even this Maokai now fine.
Yeah, and has a level advantage here as well onto Amazing J. So not looking so good here this game for Energy Pacemaker this time around, but it's the opposite situation, you know. There is a lot of late game potential here in the Aurelia and the Azir to get things done as this game moves forward.
Yeah, and a good split pushing threat coming out of Aurelia. Fantastic team fighter if you just go that Blade of the Ruin King into defensive items, but also will be able to duel pretty much everyone on the Gamtee team 1v1.
Yeah, as Kane just gets completely zoned away from his turret, and Tail going to be able to completely catch back up, even though there's a bit of a wave here for Kane to pick up as well.
Yeah, and once again, they're looking to push him straight back off the turret. Sync Dream now got some levels. Danger will join them and even pick up the first turret of the game. So much better early control coming out of Gamtee.
Yeah, and utilizing Tristana as well for her early game power is something that we haven't much seen, but 1 through 3, they really utilize the fact that Tail has that little bit of an extra advantage as this Tristana before getting into that slump that you have in the mid-game.
Yeah, and had the early kill, which is always going to help.
Yeah.
If you pick up the first blood, even if you're not an early game champion, 400 gold in the back pocket never hurts.
Yeah, it's going to feel pretty good. And that Avarice Blade stacking up and getting some cashola. Things looking pretty good here for Gamtee as they set up for the next Dragon in a minute and a half, trying to get that vision down as well. You can see, again, Energy Pacemaker with a lot of deep vision around the red side for Gamtee, but it's not necessarily where they need it. They really want to be pressuring towards this next Dragon because those 6% stats are only going to get more and more important as this game goes on.
Yeah, it certainly is, especially I think it's more important from Gamtee just because they're going to build raw AD and raw AP on their carries, respectively. Azir more known for some cooldown reduction to get himself going and some attack speed just because of those Sand Soldiers, as well as Corki with all that mixed damage that comes through from Trinity Force and more looking for the burst. So I think that Energy Pacemaker won't be too alarmed about the Dragons at this point, but you're right, they definitely do need to contest going forward just to stop that 5th one coming through extremely early because of how, I guess, on top of it Gamtee were at the start of this game.
Yeah, and what you mentioned before as well about this mid lane, Xiaohu, the complete opposite situation. Now that he's got some of this jungle pressure there in the mid, he was still fantastic in the last series. Of course, one of the only members to really stamp his mark on that last game. But at this point, 1-0-0 has that Morellonomicon already finished up and has about a 22 CS lead as well.
Yeah, and I like the response from Gamtee because you can't let your newest player be picked on. Like, this guy's stepping up, trying to come into the team and affect some change. And he got repetitively visited from all the members on Energy Pacemaker. So this time they did the right thing. They helped him out, gave him a lot of assistance in getting him ahead in that lane. And a 25 CS advantage and a kill is going to be massive on a mid-game 0.
And it's going to help his feelings as well. You know, when you join this boys club,
it's all about the feelings.
Yeah, it's all about the feelings, exactly. Xiaohu definitely having a lot more fun now, saying, guys, yeah, I'm ready to be your best friend. As Gamtee are going to start off this next Dragon in full vision now of Energy Pacemaker, and they can see the fact that they have cleared out that ward and I think intelligently stopping this Dragon, but looks like Energy Pacemaker may want to keep this one going as there are 5 members strong. Let Me does have the teleport, but they just give this one up.
Yeah, that's really bad play coming out of Gamtee at that point in the game. No pink ward in the Dragon Pit, and you start it up in full vision of EP, so not great. Able to equalize that. Maokai will get some free time in the top lane, but he's not going to be able to take that turret. He's just a tree, so...
Yeah. Not quite able to get that one down, but he had his teleport available. I mean, you would have thought that potentially there was a flank there, or do you think that he didn't have the wards available to teleport onto?
No, Danger was way too low to fight that one. Had been completely pushed off by the Dragon. We mention this all the time. If you can kill Dragon quickly, sure, he doesn't have that much health, but if you start it up without your AD there, then your AD joins a little bit late. Dragon just does so much ridiculous damage at this point in the game.
Yeah, that only does even up those Dragons, though, as Danger decides that, yes, he does want to kill these Krogs. And Drizzle and Shu, again, with the gank squad, but it might be followed up here by Sync Dream and Danger.
Yeah, I think Sync Dream and Danger are looking for the countered gank because Maokai was cheating towards that pink ward, acting as if he wants to sweep it out. Sync Dream needs to be careful to not
Ooh, they could do a full collapse here as well, as Danger is waiting in the wings. There's a Twisted Advance to start things off. We'll see who pulls the trigger first. Everyone being so patient here in the top side of the map when there are 6 people.
This is a Mexican standoff. They both know they're there.
Everyone knows. Even Danger's sort of dancing outside this brush as well, looking very confusing for everyone involved. But oh my goodness, the patience of these Chinese players.
So Energy Pacemaker have decided, oh no, they've cancelled their recall. So won't even go down there. They're just still waiting this one out.
Dun -dun, dun -dun. Oh, Danger is the first one to break off. And Sync Dream going to head back to the mid lane as well.
Oh, they've gone.
Oh, Let Me gets caught by the Aqua Prison, and Energy Pacemaker's patience pays off.
Yeah, certainly does. The suspense was killing me, and in the end, ended up killing Let Me as well. So they will pick up a turret in the mid lane for this, however.
Yeah, there's a flash. They may get a kill here as well. Emperor's Divide comes in. Sync Dream has about 0 health, but survives with the heal. Beautiful play from Gamtee.
Yeah, so really good response to what was a drawn-out, long, and painfully obvious 3-man gank in the top lane. Able to get a kill in the mid lane, pick up a turret for their trouble as well, and the pressure continues around the map.
Yeah, and the rage kill onto the Azir. Oh man, we were waiting there for so long. Oh well, we'll just kill this bird here in the mid lane.
But still very good vision control by Energy Pacemaker in this game. They've got control over, I guess, the middle portion of the map, not extending it as far as we saw last game into the jungle. So Danger definitely having a better time on this Lee Sin than he was on Rengar. So like the pickup there. And Tail in this bottom lane. He's down in CS, sure, but 2-0-0 now. And that Avarice Blade is starting to pay some dividends.
Oh, you can see that 1,000 gold in the lead is Tail now. And you have to think that has a lot to do with that Avarice Blade doing some work.
Yeah, 440 gold so far off that one. Has had it from pretty much minute 1 in this game.
Yep.
So has stacked up nicely with all that CS he's able to pick up. We'll go back and potentially finish off a static Shiv here. Wouldn't be surprised if he got greedy and went for an Infinity Edge, and he does.
Nah, he wants to keep that Avarice Blade for as long as possible, and I'm excited because Avarice Watch is one of my favorite shows, and we'll make sure we keep you up to date on that one as it does keep stacking throughout this game. See what the highest Avarice score that people get. I think it was 800 gold is the highest we've had so far.
Okay, so that's a number to watch coming through.
See whether we can break it this time.
In the mid lane, if we take a look at the items, 40 CS advantage for Xiaohu. That means he's a needlessly large rod up on Azir at this point. Both people, actually, Xiaohu has 1,500 gold to spend, and Azir only has 600. So
oh my goodness,
that's a lot of gold sitting in the back pocket. He might be able to go back and even pick himself up that death cap. We saw that he went the extremely offensive build, just counting on his range to keep him safe last time around.
And you have to think as well that Xiaohu was doing fantastically in a losing game situation last time on this Xerath. Now the tables are completely turned. His team's doing fantastically. They have a little bit more vision control around this map. He's able to clear out these waves really effectively. And I'm really excited to see what Xiaohu does in this late game with an advantage this time.
Yeah, certainly he will be looking to dictate the pace of the mid-game. Xerath just takes over, I guess, sieging turrets at will with that range. And because they've rotated Sync Dream around so much, Tail's level 11. He's getting to that max range Tristana pretty quickly as Let Me, once again, sniffing out a dive, trying to clean out this wave. But there are 3 members moving into his lane. He's become the new Xiaohu this game.
He has. It reminds me of Pokemon from yesterday. Very depressing story of being repetitively dived over and over again. And, yep, Let Me wisely going to concede this turret.
Yeah, and what this means is it gives Gamtee this time around
my goodness,
a little bit of time to be able to set up some vision around this dragon. It is up in about 40 seconds, so maybe we'll be able to control that objective this time around as they're just pushing in on this turret.
Yeah, Sync Dream finally hitting level 6 here at 18 minutes into the game. Does have that big bear that he can throw down. They're going to take the inner turret and then just get the heck out by the looks of things.
Yeah, looking to rotate back towards that dragon.
We've got the flank coming through from Amazing J, but he may be in too deep. You can see the Sonic Wave lands. Danger picks up the kill, but the fight's on for real in the backside as Let Me's come in. Gets caught by the Aqua Prism, but Drizzle, he gets taken down as well. This Jarvan sort of filing in after Amazing J, and Energy Pacemaker just have no idea how far behind they are.
Yeah, they went extremely deep for Tail there and weren't even able to grab the Tristana. That will mean the dragon will be picked up by Gamtee this time around, extending their lead to 2 Dragons to 1, and they've got a 5,000 gold lead at only 20 minutes into the game.
Yeah, this is looking like the direct opposite of what happened in the last game, but Gamtee also have Tristana insurance.
Yeah, and that Xerath is just becoming...
Oh, quick, have a look at the Avarice.
Massive. It's actually...
He may actually finish the static ship. 575 before it gets transformed. So not quite gonna win, but we do have a replay coming through, guys, as we have a look at that fight.
So the teleports are the important bit. Aurelia goes into the backline and just gets blown up by how fed this, I guess, the whole Gamtee lineup is. Drizzle follows through, thinking he can pick Tail up, but unable to get the damage. Tail didn't have his heal available at that time, so it was close. And wow, even more action live.
Yeah, Xiaohu, oh, that flash was beautiful. Immediately followed by so many flashes. That Aqua Prism was beautiful. Shu picks up a well-deserved kill.
Yeah, worthwhile spending all of those cooldowns to get it, because that's all of the wave clear on Gamtee. That might mean that they're able to pick up their second turret. And yep, Gamtee wisely backing away. Without Xerath, can't defend.
Yep, unfortunately, Xiaohu sort of coming from this solo queue, unable to be in the right place at the right time. Sun turret coming up here as well. And only 14 seconds. Remember, it's only 19 minutes into this game. Those death timers aren't so high. Things are too difficult to deal with, but with all the members of Gamtee, they're going to be absolutely fine. 2 items now on Tristana in comparison to just that Trinity Force on Kayn. So 3-0-1, you have to think Tails having a brilliant game this time.
Yeah, it would be much more comfy this time around. Also against no armor so far picked up on the side of Energy Pacemaker. So might even be able to go for a Bloodthirster third item and really start shredding through these targets nice and early on.
Yeah, you have to think that Amazing J and Drizzle probably want to start building up that armor now, but of course you sort of need it by this stage when Tristana's getting this large.
Yeah, and the danger is if you build armor at this point in the game, you have a Maokai that does percentage health and a lot of consistent AoE, a Xerath that does a lot of consistent AoE magic damage as well.
Yep.
So there's just way too many threats to take into account as
Whoa.
Lemmy has to flash over a wall nice and quickly. I like the flash.
Yeah, very good flash, but it's going to be the flash into the Cataclysm here. Lemmy unable to flash out of this one, but he's trying to turn it around, doing a lot of damage to Drizzle. Doesn't manage to pick up the kill, but I liked it. Knew that he had to turn and fight.
Meanwhile, his team was shoving down mid lane, able to steal away that blue and might even get a favorable team fight.
Yeah, Shu follows his own tidal wave in, which was very exciting to see this like sort of floating fish coming down, but that's going to be a trade.
He got flash kicked by Danger. I don't think he chose to follow his wave in.
He was riding his wave. Precisely what happened. That's how that works. Imagine if you could click on it.
Oh, God.
Oh, that would be amazing.
And once again, we see the siege coming out. Level 12 Tristana, nice long range. The poke coming out of Xiaohu is massive. And
Tail, Tail was just doing fantastically as well, hitting that tower at every available opportunity as well.
Yeah, and the important thing to note was they split their carries. So Tail was on the bottom side, Xiaohu on the top side. No way that they could engage on either, because both just do phenomenal amounts of damage at this point in the game. So able to get that one down nice and low.
Yeah, really, really well played. Oh, that depressing time when you don't have a blue buff available. Although Xiaohu did just manage to steal one as well, so maybe a bit greedy on that front. Let me now trying to clear out this top wave, and he's doing fine in the CS department. Yeah, and he's picked up the Rod of Ages here as well, so going to have a little bit more of a chance to clear out some of these waves. The Righteous Glory Maokai's clearing waves is a pretty depressing sight. Of course, don't do too much damage as Gamtee now trying again. We'll see whether this time they're going to find it out, but Amazing J, he just knows, man.
Well, he saw 3 people leave mid lane and walk towards top. I don't know where else they would be going but to kill him. So
they may have been going back.
wisely chooses to back off. It allows the last outer turret to fall for Gamtee. They've got a 4,000 gold lead at 22 minutes into the game, so they're getting ahead.
They are, but it's not quite the lead that they had early on. We were talking about the fact that there was a 5,000 gold gap, and Energy Pacemaker's done well to try and claw their way back into this one. And with their lineup, you have to think that they're still going to feel pretty confident that they could fight in the later stages, as Raphael has picked up a couple of assists since having a pretty worrying early stage to this game. Now has a stinger. That Morellonomicon's there as well. Has a lot of cooldown reduction, so these Sand Soldiers going to be hitting pretty quickly. And that needlessly large rod, we'll see what he turns it into, because if that's a Zhonya's Hourglass, he's going to be able to easily keep himself alive in these fights so he can get some damage down.
Yeah, so a minute on Dragon. Looks like Energy Pacemaker for the first time have complete control over the area. Gamtee really need to group back up here and try and, get some wards down nice and deep. Tail in the bottom lane with double buffs and an extra pickaxe. We'll be going for that last Whisper next item. Does want to be able to deal with the Aurelia.
Ooh. Energy Pacemaker have been spotted out just eventually. It was looking a little bit dangerous for Gamtee. But you can see Energy Pacemaker, despite being behind. Oh, dear.
I actually thought they might try and fight that one. They saw Amazing J in the bottom lane. They know his teleport's up, but with the burst damage that comes out of Xerath at this point in the game, might even be too long of a channel to get there in time.
But Gamtee now trying to solidify some vision. We were seeing before, it was Energy Pacemaker with all of the vision on this map, and that hasn't changed since these matchups have gone around. Of course, Gamtee this time feeling a bit better. They have the lead, but they haven't managed to translate that into a vision control lead.
Yeah, well, they have now. They've got complete control over the Dragon area at this point. Energy Pacemaker are completely split. So unless Amazing J can do some really potent zoning on this Aurelia and get in Xiaohu or Tail's face, this Dragon looks like it's in control of GT.
Yeah, but here's the fight coming in. That's just going to be Drizzle taken off the map immediately, right at the Arcane, just to deter the members of Energy Pacemaker from coming in. And Danger heads straight back to that Dragon. They're going to be able to take this one for free. No jungler available, no smite. Transcendent Blades, not going to do nearly enough damage.
Yeah, definitely not able to get that. And that's the danger of being split around an objective like Dragon. If anything goes wrong and a pick happens, you just have no way to fight. Looks like they might even be trying to go into a... No, they're just going to pick up the top wave.
Yeah, just want to get those red dots that are making them excited on the minimap. Tao going to head up there and extend his CS advantage. You have to think that in his back pocket he might have the money for that last Whisper available. 1,700 gold. So yeah, most definitely. Only needs another 1,425 for that one. So he's going to be able to secure that item. And then probably look to go into that Bloodthirster next. But this Tristan is just getting huge.
Yeah, and only about 600 gold away from the Void Staff on Xiaohu as well. So he will be doing all of the damage in this mid-game that he would like to. Blade of the Ruin King build coming out of Corki this time around, trying to deal with this Maokai. Although he's nearly got his Randuin's Omen, so you would think that that is a point that Corki won't want to necessarily go anywhere near him.
Oh no. Maybe using that Blade of the Ruin King to give him some extra movement speed, get out of the way of the potential Arcane Smashes to be coming in. Maybe give him a little bit more maneuverability in order to get around that particular ability after he gets advanced upon. It was an interesting turn of phrase, wasn't it?
It was very, very eloquently put.
Don't know whether that's exactly the right word. Raphael going to pick up this blue buff, though. In full vision, Sync Dream just has balls of steel. Heading straight in. It's just level 10 Annie. No fear.
Yeah, and the ultimate was burnt from it by Xerath as well, trying to take that one away. So it won't be available if a fight does come through. But the mass recalls coming out in the mid lane means they might lose this tier 2.
Yeah, the inner turret could be under fire here. Tail does a lot of damage, and it had no health left anyway, so just going to tank that one up and pick it up for himself.
Yeah, meanwhile, split pushes coming out from both top laners. Amazing J has leapt 40 CS in advantage, but at this point in the game, Maokai's exactly where he needs to be. Got that roller stacking up nicely, has a defensive item. Will just look to get tankier from this point. Really doesn't need those huge items to carry the way an Aurelia does.
Yeah, and Amazing J has the ability to split push a little
Desperation
bit more.
Baron.
Oh my goodness, this is very dangerous. They don't have vision necessarily. They do now as a ward gets put around the backside from Danger, and Energy Pacemaker immediately back off and say, oh, this is the objective we want. That's the Scuttle Crab, not the Baron.
Yeah, so good try there coming out of Energy Pacemaker. Willing to change it up and try and force an objective whilst they thought members had recalled, but in the end, not really enough of a position to be able to do that one. They do have wave control in the top lane, however.
Yeah, Drizzle gets caught out here. Danger gets caught by the tidal wave as the flash comes through. Kane, what are you doing there in the backside? Gets caught by the stun. Raphael trying to get some damage down. Sync Dream's very squishy. But my gosh, was that a Valkyrie over that wall?
Yeah, it certainly was, and it was because he thought he had caught them in a flank, but the rest of the Energy Pacemaker just weren't in position to follow up. They were caught in the divide. Xerath was putting out a lot of AoE damage, and the flash tippers coming out of Sync Dream just meant that he wasn't even able to pick up Drizzle to Danger to trade.
Yeah, very, very risky plays coming through from Kane. But has that Blade of the Ruin King now, probably going towards that last Whisper for himself. As we have Sync Dream coming around, trying to get some vision down as well. 5-0-2 though on tail on this Tristana, and that's what we really need to be talking about, as well as Xiaohu now finishing off that trinity of items for really that massive damage spike now that that Void Staff's been completed.
Yeah, this Tristana is absolutely massive. Unless something comes through, like a really good Xerath ultimate to Azir ultimate to split her from the rest of the team, we'll just be able to sit back at long range. Is level 15, nearly level 16 at this point as well. So just going to be doing so much damage from so far away.
Yeah, and Sync Dream now consolidating the vision here on the top side of the map. They know that Baron is going to be the next port of call. Almost not caring about the Dragon of both teams at this stage, although it is coming up in another minute and a half. And Danger going to be continuing to clear out the wards, and Gamtee have realized that they need to get some vision control, and you can see they are doing exactly that, and exactly where they need to, as well as the last inner turret available is on this top side. Yeah,
it certainly is. So they're looking to shove that one down, use this Tristana's Rage, as well as the poke that comes through. Cheeky steal of the Gromp away.
Yep, Phosphorus Bomb still doing enough burst to secure that one for Kane.
So at this point, they're just trying to stall out. Energy Pacemaker really need a fight where they catch someone able to use that Emperor's Divide to split them up, but I don't think it's at this turret. They will just give it up.
Yeah, you can see Tail just able to free hit that turret, and they may even rotate to try and get to this Baron because they've got so much forward vision and so much damage as well.
Yeah, well, they still need to sweep out one last ward there. Looks like Tail does just want to pick up some more CS. We'll maybe look to back and pick up a... He's got to nearly have enough for his Bloodthirster. Yeah, 2,500.
Yeah. Only needs another 200 gold odd to be able to pick that one up. See whether he does decide to go with. But you have to think that they're going to head back and then go back towards this Dragon as well and really try and get themselves some more stacks on that, because making sure that you pressure the enemy team into having to either choose to go for the Baron or that 5th Dragon, that's when things get really difficult, and that's something that Gamtee can lean on now that they have this sort of team fighting advantage at this stage.
Yeah, it's so hard to dive an Azir. He's just got such good anti-dive potential, and that comes from his ultimate being able to separate people, as well as the high damage of his Sand Soldiers. So dangerous to look to do that, so Gamtee need to try and draw people out of the base of Energy Pacemaker.
But Scuttlecrab was picked up here by Gamtee around that Baron, so are going to be able to at least have a bit of vision there, guaranteed.
Ooh, Amazing J has the flank, might look to go in here from the top side.
The Amazing J special to come through, as I think Tails actually started off this Dragon for himself as well, completely unseen. You can see so much damage coming through from this Tristana.
Yeah, and not even the response to be able to start up a Baron. So good movement once again by Gamtee. Looking in the driver's seat, trying to close out this game, but still a lot of fight coming out of Energy Pacemaker.
Yeah, and Gamtee, they don't look too confident in their ability to win this one. Haven't made aggressive movements as much.
Yeah, they're playing this very safely for a team that's been pretty much 5,000 gold in the lead for the last 15 minutes.
And Energy Pacemaker as well, you can see their sidewaves are pushing in onto Gamtee as well. They have to deal with these, and it means that Gamtee can't make these aggressive moves with the minions behind them.
Yeah, so they've sent Maokai once again to try and push out that bottom wave. I would expect Tail to go into that top lane, try and clean that one up. It is absolutely massive at this point.
Yeah, that's going to crash into the turret right now, as Amazing J may actually just come in and coax that turret down. There might even be Sync Dream heads up there. No one, just going to leave it. Just going to let the turret deal with it.
That is a lot of resources crashing into a turret right now.
It is making me very depressed watching it. I'm not going to lie to you.
As a top laner, that is nearly a sin to do that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You see, let me. He wants to come and try and get some of these creeps. He's going to get a few, but there were so many lost to that turret.
So let me actually going for the Aegis of the Legion, looking to go towards that Locket of the Iron Solari. I really like the build coming out of Maokai. He's very dependent on CDR, and of course, with the nerf that went through ages ago to Spirit Visage that took it away from a 20% CDR to a 10% CDR item, Locket is a very attractive position.
Oh, Drizzle's been caught out. That was massive damage, all within this time of that stun. Danger aggressively moving forward. Empress Divide gets Let Me out of the fight, but Kane's just going to get obliterated by the Rite of the Arcane. The flash from Tail, the reset's coming in here as well. Raphael needing to use that heal for the speed boost. 3 dead. This could be Baron as Amazing J tries to split push his way through.
Yeah, but all they're going to do is send Let Me back in the mid lane. He's going to be able to respond and pick up a free Baron on the side of Gamtee. What a play coming out with that catch, and they've really shown how they wanted to control the late game in the last match. Just weren't able to do it because of how far behind they got.
Yeah, and Danger looking so much more comfortable on this Lee Sin as well, playing in that front line, making sure that he's always there to try and land these Sonic Waves and get himself into these fights, despite the fact that he was taking damage, because he knows all he has to do is be a target that isn't Tail in these fights.
Yeah, well, Tail's now picked up 4 offensive items on Tristana. He's 7-0-3 and level 17. This guy is going to rip through any member. That Frozen Heart doesn't mean anything at this point in the game.
Oh, no. And he almost has that Banshee's Veil completed as well. And that's just going to mean he's going to be so much more difficult to lock down by a pick.
4,000 gold over his lane opponent, Kane.
My gosh, that is just horrendous. But with that Baron buff as well, Gamtee now looking to try and pressure these lanes. You think that they might have a little bit more split push potential coming through here as well, just because those creeps are going to be doing so much more work. But they are going to stick together and really try and get some more picks, because the team fights have been what are working for Gamtee this match.
Yeah, and Amazing J looks to be trying to not get caught out. Nice pink ward behind the lines of Gamtee. Means that if a flank can be come through, Amazing J can look for that one.
Yep, Tail just going to tank up this turret, of course. They're a little bit annoyed at the fact that this cannon creep won't get forward and actually start doing some tanking. And these Sand Soldiers a little bit too far out of range in order to stop this one. So this first inhibitor turret is going to fall down. Amazing J and Drizzle have found their way in around the backside. Sync Dream gets a huge Tibbers onto the carries, but he's going to get eliminated first up because he's a little bit too far forward. Drizzle, though, gets just obliterated. Look at the Xerath damage. Raphael manages to get Let Me as Tail, oh no, jumps into the Emperor's Divide. That was a sad, sad story, as the wall is going to fall down eventually, and this inhibitor is going to be falling down.
Yeah, those soldiers much taller than they appear, ladies and gentlemen. Not even a Tristana can get over them. But what a team fight coming out of Gamtee. They're going to be able to clean up this base. You would think that's a game.
Oh,
Corky
gosh.
gets destroyed.
Xiaohu with so much damage now that he has that. Zhonya's on top of those 3 items from before. And Gamtee turning it all around. 1-1 is the series between these bottom rung teams, but that was fantastic to watch.
Yeah, so 10th and 11th, splitting a point. One goes away into the Twisted Nether somewhere, never to return. But what a decisive set of games. First of all, Energy Pacemaker coming out huge in game 1. Gamtee able to flip the switch and just a completely different team in game 2.
Yeah, looking really beautiful. And we do have a replay of the final team fight, and we'll just see how Gamtee managed to roll over this one after there is a decent flank from EP.
Yeah, so Sync Dream gets this one started after Let Me just take so much damage with a really good flash Tibbers onto 2 carries, but there's just no follow-up damage and gets absolutely destroyed. Right here, that Cataclysm actually gives Xiaohu the easiest target for Xerath to be able to destroy a team. Raphael tries to change it. That's a little bit of a jump into a wall there from Tristana, but in the end, what a team fight coming through. It just showed how far behind they were and how much damage they could get through.
Yeah, and just Tail having the balls to pick up Tristana again after losing so decisively in the first matchup and then showing us just how well it could work was beautiful to see as well. And I think we have to mention the jungle matchup here, because Danger just looks so much more comfortable on this Lee Sin, and you have to think that teams watching this, trying to work out how to defeat Gamtee, get rid of his champion pool, because you put him on something like a Rengar and he just looks like he has no idea.
Yeah, he certainly did. He had a very, very poor game 1 performance. Like, if we don't beat around the bush, he just wasn't effective on that champion.
Yeah.
You put him on Lee Sin, he had some beautiful flash kicks, got Nami caught out a couple of times himself, and just had much more presence around the map, being able to pick up that Sightstone, got better vision control. And I think a lot of it can be attributed to Sync Dream as well.
Yeah.
Because Sync Dream, in that second game, willing to let him get going and help him with those ganks early on, put a lot of pressure onto Raphael in that mid lane. After he kind of had his way with Xiaohu in the first game, they just turned it around in areas they needed to, and put on a dominant second game performance.
Yeah, they certainly didn't. It was like Sync Dream sort of saw what Shu was doing in that first match, of course, as Thresh, following Drizzle around, making sure that he gets into all the places that he needs to be. And game round, it worked beautifully, so managing to stun that mid laner. But we are going to be going into our next matchup very soon, ladies and gentlemen. We'll hop into a break for now.